Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking into the Gabby Petito case. It really grips so many people.
It absolutely
We've
did.
got some excerpts here that basically outline the key events. The story started as this seemingly perfect cross-country trip, but it ended tragically.
Yeah, and our goal today is really just to unpack those core elements, understand what happened based on these accounts.
Right. So the initial picture, it's Gabby Petito, she's 22, and her fiancé, Brian Laundrie. They're doing the whole van life thing.
And documenting it all, social media showed this amazing adventure. Looked idyllic.
Exactly, like a dream trip. But the information we have points to a really sharp turning point.
Definitely. The excerpts pinpoint August 27th, 2021. That seems to be the day Gabby disappeared.
And what happened next with Brian Laundrie? I mean, that immediately raised questions, didn't it?
It really did. He drove back to Florida alone.
Uh-huh. No Gabby.
Yeah.
And crucially, no explanation for where she was.
Yeah, just silence initially, which, in that kind of situation feels very, very off. A huge red flag.
Totally. And then connecting that to later events, the excerpts detail the discovery of Gabby's body, September 19th.
Found near a campsite out in Wyoming. Just heartbreaking, confirming everyone's worst fears at that point.
Truly devastating.
Yeah.
And the details from the autopsy. Homicide, strangulation, and beating.
It's just so violent, and it paints such a starkly different picture from, those happy van life photos they were posting.
It really does. Then the sources, they bring in even darker elements, like the police body cam footage.
Right, from weeks before her death. And that footage, well, it showed clear signs of distress, maybe abuse in the relationship.
Yeah, really troubling signs captured on video. It's hard to watch knowing what came later.
And then there's the confession, Brian Laundrie's handwritten note found near his body after he died by suicide.
That adds another really complex, dark layer to everything.
And his stated motive in that note, according to the sources, it's quite unsettling.
What did it say?
He claimed Gabby was hurt, that she was in pain, and that killing her was an act of mercy. His words.
An act of mercy. But how does that square with the autopsy? Strangulation, beating. That sounds incredibly violent, not merciful.
Exactly. It forces you to confront that claim head on. Was it mercy, like he claimed? Or was it simply murder? It's the central, awful question here.
It really is. And the sources also mention Gabby's family speaking out later, I think on 2020, revisiting everything.
Yeah, sharing their side, their memories of Gabby, their view of the relationship's timeline, which is completely understandable. They'd want her story told properly.
Of course. The information suggests this whole tragedy served as a kind of a wake-up call for many.
I think so. It really highlights how much can be hidden beneath the surface. You see one thing online, but the reality can be dangerously different.
Yeah, the unseen dynamics in relationships.
Right.
So we've sort of traced it from the initial dream, the van trip, then the disappearance, the awful discovery, Brian's confession and death, and this really disturbing question about his motive.
And exploring all this, it really just underscores how fragile appearances can be and, well, the tragic outcomes of violence hidden within a relationship.
It's incredibly sobering. So when you consider all these contrasts, the bright social media life versus the evidence of abuse, Brian's mercy claim versus the sheer brutality, what does this whole tragedy ultimately make you think about relationships and maybe how we perceive them from the outside?
It's a heavy question to leave people with,